This is episode 1 of Kicking Back with MarcMack, presented to you by Paranoia, baby. Hey, what's going on, everybody? You're tuned in to Kicking Back with MarcMack. I'm your host, Marcus D. Smith, aka MarcMack. It's been long overdue, but episode 1 is officially here, and let me just say I'm excited to finally embark on this journey. Those who know me personally know that I've been preparing ways to make everything come into fruition. And my first guest, who I'll introduce later in the show, is a great brother of mine who's continuously helped encourage and support me throughout the maturation of this show as well as my career. We'll return the favor when we discuss his own career and personal journey in his pursuit to making it to the association, the NBA. Before we get into all that, we'll discuss something a little bit more serious that we've been discussing for the past centuries. And yesterday in 2020, we're still having discussions about racism and inequality in the American system, how strategically and somehow conveniently designed to prevent any African American person from succeeding in this country. With the racial tension at an all-time high in America, citizens have collectively come together to call for a revolution. It's been all across the country. There have been protests every single day for the past few weeks, or month rather, and there doesn't seem to be any signs of slowing down. By now you know his name, George Floyd, a black man who was murdered cold in the streets by an officer in Minneapolis for what seemed to be about a $10 payment discrepancy. No, it doesn't stop there. You know her name, Breonna Taylor, murdered in her sleep by an officer in plain clothes. Those cops still not convicted, let alone charged. It's 2020, black people are being lynched from trees by law enforcement, and they're ruling them suicides, even with bullet wounds disintegrating into their backs. Why? How do they get away with it? It's because in America you get liberty and justice for all, except if you're black. Quite frankly, black people, my people, we're tired of the same treatment of disrespect and negligence on behalf of the American system. The system is made up of an infectious disease that spreads and creates a divisiveness amongst a country that stands on being united. This is why people have come together in the streets of New York. People have come together in the streets of Atlanta. This is why 60,000 people showed up at City Hall in downtown Houston, and another 30,000 at the Capitol in Sacramento. Simply stated, we are fed up. But don't take my word for it. Listen to what the people have to say as we explore downtown Sacramento. Thousands of people have been gathering in downtown Sacramento to make their voices heard in response to the disparities and racial injustices that affect the lives of African American and black people in this country. All across America, everyone is pleading for everlasting change in this flawed nation.
I got to be here for him. A leader for my 10-year-old. I got 10-year-old, I got 6-year-old, and I got a 3-year-old. I got all boys. It matters to be able. Something must change.
With the murders of Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Rayshard Brooks, and a long list of others by law enforcement, Americans are taking matters into their own hands, exercising their right to protest, remaining unified together with one message. Black Lives Matter!
Thank you. I think as a father and also with my wife here, shows our children how to stand up for something you believe in and not be silent and not look the other way and continue sitting in your comfort zone. To put yourself out there, put yourself at risk and for a cause you believe in.
Always an advocate for peaceful protesting. It's important. That's how there's always strength in numbers. So we had to talk with them in the car. This is why we're doing this. They understand, and they were all excited to get their signs and get out here and spread the word.
There were hundreds of signs with positive messages written on them, while other signs were simply a call for justice for the victims. And as people flocked to see the Chavez Park, they were met with special appearances from Sacramento Kings current and former players, as well as film producer and Sacramento native Deon Taylor.
We got to beat them with our minds. This is a mental fight. So when we say go out and vote, it's not just to get that president out of the White House. We got to vote. We got to know who we're voting for. And the only way to do that is to educate ourselves. Educate your brother, educate your sister, your friends, your family. I've had a lot of white people say, how can I help? Listen, educate yourself, and then stand behind us.
Don't just show up as an ally. This movement needs more than allies. Ally is sentimental. The movement needs co-conspirators.
Vote and bring everybody else who's come to you over the last week and said, what can I do? How can I help? That they vote too. That's our power. We have no excuse not to show up at the voting booth like we showed up here today.
We're here for justice, we're here for peace,
We're here for Black Lives Matter. We're here for a lot of shit. Use that voice. Don't be silent. Use it. Come together. And let's beat this bullshit.
You know that 1% of officers who kill civilians are charged, and even less than 1% are convicted. Less than 1% are convicted. So the only way, for the first time in 400 years, they hear us. Unfortunately, it had to do with some rioting and some looting, but fuck it. They haven't listened to our silent protest.
And you know, although it's brutally honest, he's completely right. When you look at the extensive history in America, we've been fighting the same war for years. And they all begin the same. Peaceful and civil demonstrations until the cries from the voices of the masses were ignored. And now, we've exponentially been able to shed light on this racial situation due to the country shutting down in precaution of COVID-19. But soon, American entertainment will return, such as restaurants opening back up, bars and clubs reopening, gyms will open up, and professional sports like the NBA will make its return. We must not forget the battle. We must continue to strive for equal opportunity, and overall, we can take this as another pivotal learning moment and continue to educate one another so we can make the necessary changes for the future and move forward progressively as one functional society. Let's take a quick break to hear from this episode's sponsor, Paranoia, and when we come back, we'll sit down and talk with my good friend, Jalen Cooper, a prospect in this year's upcoming NBA G League draft. Stay tuned.
What's up, man? I'm Jalen Cooper, and I'm kicking back with MarcMack.
Name of the brand is Paranoia.
Just a touch of love, just a touch. One touch of love, more than a little bit. We could win on some simple shit. Keep showing love, we could benefit, especially if you sun-kissed.
Child, how dare they treat you rude? I'll Hershey kiss your wounds, I do.
Kicking back with MarcMack, start right now.
All right, man. How you doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
You're here. I'm here. It's a nice day. Get to be outside a little bit more. You know, COVID-19, coronavirus, everything else kept us inside. How you been?
Hanging in there, you know. I'm trying to stay busy. There's a lot going on. We're just trying to keep my mind focused, you know.
So you know what we're going to talk about today?
I don't.
That's the beauty of it. We're just kicking back. We're just chilling.
Improvise. I like it.
And, you know, this is kind of where it all started. You know, we know each other for a long time.
Yes, sir.
For too long, I would say. But this is where it started, man. And we told each other something when we were kids. One dream, one goal. What was it?
Make it to the league.
Make it to the league.
Make it to the league, man.
You're still on that. You're still on that path. You're still on that journey. It's lovely walking you. It's beautiful, and I love it. So just talk about that journey where you're at right now.
It's a journey. It's a marathon, some would say. You know, I started in lowest of the lowest divisions. I worked my way up. I grinded. I did my own networking. I made my own film, sent it out, and got an opportunity. Basically, made the most of it. So,
and just talk about just your career from college and high school, and you was talking about how you did it by yourself and not too many people knowing you coming out. So first, where were you coming from?
So I moved to Phoenix, Arizona. I graduated from there. I had Grand Canyon University. I was going to try to go to ASU in redshirt. So that was the goal. That was the plan. But I had bad grades because school was never my thing, if I'm being honest with you. So I went to a junior college. I was hooping there. Still had bad grades. I couldn't go anywhere but an NAI. So I ended up going to Simpson University in Redding, California.
How was Simpson? How was that experience, Redding, California?
I mean, it's easy to stay focused because there's not parties and there's not, a beach or anything around there. So it's just really just city with just gyms and.
Do you prefer that? That's something that's better for you when there's nothing to really do in the city, or you like things to do around the town?
Right now, I mean, I've always liked things to do around the town, but as an 18, 19-year-old kid, it helped you stay focused. When you're 18, 19, you're out there wilding out, partying, so it helped me stay focused. I wasn't around drugs or anything crazy out there, so it actually helped me a lot. It helped me a lot.
And talk about that growth process with Simpson University. I mean, I know that was a ride in itself. If you can kind of divulge on that a little bit.
Yeah, I had some growing up to do. From I was one of the top players when I was in Arizona, and I had to start from square one where nobody knew me in a different city, or I didn't know anybody there. Had to build my name back up. So,
what were the challenges in that?
It was difficult. I'm used to attention. I went there. I didn't have much at first, but I went there. I did what I had to do. And what I would tell people is Simpson, of course, NAI is like one of the lowest divisions. Everyone wants to go D1, but at Simpson, I was basically the man. So I would tell people, go where you can play. If I would have went to ASU and I didn't get minutes, I'd say I went to a D1, but I didn't play. But now, like I said, I went to an NAIA, I played 40 minutes a game, So it's like, there's always a blessing in disguise.
Right, it is a blessing. That's a big message to send out to the kids, the next generation, the next person that wants to hoop growing up. Because, you hear it all the time. I want to go D1, or I want to go to Kentucky. I want to go here, X, Y, Z. But sometimes that's not always the case. And I think what you're saying is a big part of that. Just, you want to go where they want you. You went to where they wanted you. And you ended up getting all those minutes. You got a lot of time, so you got a lot of footage. And talk about that. What you ended up doing with your footage?
So basically, bus rides home, I would download clips. As selfish as this sounds, I would download clips. I would make it into a little iMovie on my iPhone. I would make a little mixtape. So we lose in the playoffs. As soon as we lose and we get on the bus, of course, I'm all mad once I calm down and everything. I make a new Twitter. I look up NBA agents, send my footage to any agent that has their messages open, to the public. So I sent it out to them, sent it to probably 50 agents. I got a reply from maybe 7 of them. But that's all I needed was one chance. One guy said, I'm a newer agent. I'm willing to work with you. So he helped me get some overseas showcases, some NBA showcases and workouts, and the rest is history. I went out there and did what I had to do. No one knew who I was, and that's why I love it. No one knows who you are, and you really make a name for yourself in one chance, one opportunity. It's a great feeling, man.
That's beautiful. So you have your agent now helping you out, doing everything you can to make that dream possible. Tell me about that shirt you have on right there.
Yeah, man, this is...
Because that's a step right there in itself.
It is. That's the goal, man. I'm trying to... Draft is probably in December now due to COVID, but I'm trying to be top 20 pick. That's a projection for me. So,
what have you been doing to stay in shape, stay healthy? I mean, I imagine it's kind of hard not being able to dribble a basketball, to put some shots up or anything like that. How have you been able to manage throughout all this?
I think there's always a way, man. So I find a local park. On a windy day, I'll do layups. If it's not windy, I'll shoot some jump shots.
Even throughout the wind? We never used to like hooping with the wind, man.
I know.
That's different, huh?
If it's super windy, it'll mess your shot up. So I'll just do dribbling drills until like a finish kind of thing. But
okay.
It's always you don't have a hoop, you can dribble. Keep your handle tight. There's always something you can do to stay productive. So that's what I'm trying to do.
Man, you gotta love it. So let's talk, man. Let's talk. You said G League draft probably not gonna be until maybe December with COVID and everything. NBA's coming back though. Got some basketball coming back. Are you excited for that?
I am. I don't know how it's gonna look. Everyone's been it's been longer than an actual offseason.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how things play out. I pray that there's no injuries on these guys and they finish the season healthy and strong. So.
All right, last 60 seconds. We're just gonna ask you some quick what the hell questions. Why not? Okay.
Okay.
Favorite pair of shoes all time.
Military Blue Force.
Favorite rap album.
All time.
Yellow album, Dom Kennedy.
Dom Kennedy.
That's my guy.
Favorite food?
Bacon.
Favorite movie?
Space Jam.
You could have anything in the world, what would it be?
Oh, $1 billion.
$1 billion, that's it?
$1 billion. I'm set with $1 billion, that's all I need. I can't even spend that much.
Man, it's been a pleasure, man.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me.
Always, man. You're kicking back with MarcMack, episode 1 in the books. That's it.
Damn, well, if I can have anything in the world.
We gon' party. It's gon' start tonight. I bet you looking fine and right. We gon' party. It's gon' start tonight. I bet you looking fine and right.